lady be a make a comment at your far a year demonstration or more year no. Now on analysis now yeah no. Analysis a lady no and an wording. Yeah. Or chira one in Cassie you say, ye wo mra, ewo kuru so a, se nipa enso ediso. Na se nipa ehu ne se nyoma enkwa ye wo kuru so no mutimi kam ho bom demonstration dia. Se mra so wo kuru mo so a govern saa enipa na ewo ho magye atum o masan ho krata no so. Enipa no so te ase na omo so mra no so asede ena se na pede enso de ma mra no. Na lady ni chireche ni nsemu nyina wie no na obia ebole sem se maami nsemu a okan ano den yentie nsemu a ye sister yi edi tudwa emra omo frɛ no ewo joy afidie so na omo twetwe nkomo yentie nsemu edi tudwa.
Sorry, I might
hear your analysis also.
Everybody, thank you for having me. And I'll begin by reading the first two stanzas or first three stanzas of the second verse of Ghana's national anthem. And it says, "Hail to thy name, O Ghana. To thee we make our solemn vow." And the emphasis is on our solemn vow. "Steadfast to build together a nation strong in unity." Now, why do I begin with this? I just really want to highlight the fact that building Ghana is not a person's responsibility. It is all our responsibility. And I go back to what, sorry, I might mispronounce your name, Vemaho. And he says that he's working to educate Ghanaians on rights. And in all the, the statements he has made, there is an emphasis on rights, but there is silence on responsibilities. And I think that a lot of the time in Ghana, when we are talking about democracy, we talk about the rights that we have in democracy, but we're silent on the responsibilities that we have in democracy. And I'll go back to the law. And yes, I'm not a lawyer, but then I found it very interesting that in the Public Order Act, Section 3, the Public Order Act 1994, which is Act 491, Section 3, it talks about the responsibility of organizers and other persons. And I'm sure that the organizer, being a lawyer, should have known what his responsibilities are. And if you don't mind, I probably would skip quickly to Section 3 of the responsibilities of organizers and other persons and use my layman's view. Now it reads, "Where at any special event, any damage is caused to any public property, the organizers or other persons found to have been responsible for the damage caused shall be liable to pay for the cost of the damage." That's one. Two, any person taking part in a special event shall obey the directions of police officers, safeguarding the proper movements of other persons and vehicles and generally maintain order. Three, any person taking part in a special event shall conduct himself, and I would add herself, to such a manner as to avoid causing obstruction of traffic, confusion, or disorder. And we all know that even God, who created the earth, established order as the first order before he could start or begin creation. And so the question is, why do we think that we can wantonly flout the law that governs all of us and yet seek to say that we are upholding this very law? We cannot exist in this confusion. At the basis of all this fix the country demonstrations are 5 cardinal things that William Bedridge wrote about. And William Bedridge is a UK economist who drafted the Welfare Act. And he said, our concerns as human beings are to deal with the giant evils. And what are the giant evils? And I read that out to all of us for our benefit. The giant evils are squalor, ignorance. The giant evils are squalor, ignorance, want, idleness, and disease. Now, in all these protests that we protest, how does it directly address squalor? How does it directly address ignorance? How does it directly address want? How does it directly address idleness? And how does it direct disease? There's a huge and a larger problem of global externalities that affect our country. We don't talk about that. We don't mention that. And that is the perception index about Africa, or the perception premium that Africa pays for in debt. We're a country that is poor, and I think that we need to recognize this fact. We're a poor country. A third of our expenditure is not covered by any income. So how do we balance all of this? How do we put this all together? By going on the streets and demonstrating, and by refusing to obey the law, and by creating a society that is fixed on chaos. How do we then address, the key issues of our society? We want a society built on discipline. We refer to countries like Singapore, is it the Garwandis, who refer to Rwanda at every slight moment. And they refer to it because of the law and order or the discipline that is in that country. Now, if we seek to, be a people that even when we are knowledgeable, we are intelligent, and we should know what we ought to do, deliberately flout it, and then claim, perhaps using the very words that Vermaho said, in a statement that is attributable, I think, to the IGP and the current commission that is going on, saying that he was using PR, crying to the public and playing to the gallery. I question if this is the same tactic that is being employed by Fix the Country. Are they using PR to undermine the very society they want to build? Or are they doing it because they're really concerned about how our society is built? And so for me, the critical thing is, number one, what is the key question that we want to address? Can we use protest to address that key question? Yes, it's a democratic right, but what of our democratic responsibilities? As citizens of Ghana, what are the responsibilities that we have together to fix this country? What are our behaviors? What are our values? Do we exhibit integrity? So here, there's a lot of claims being thrown out. And I question, are they all about integrity? If you're saying that, lots of people called you to tell you not to publish something, the question is, if you are a person that is value-driven, would you listen to the people who are saying to you to cover up? Or will you say to them, yes, I hear what you're asking me to do, but it is a wrong thing you're asking me to do, and so I'm going to defy you, and I'm going to publish what they said. So why is it taking, 2 years, 3 years for him to publish this audio? I would have published it the very first day, because then I believe in integrity, and I believe that we need to be a values-driven society, and I think that's where I would end it.
All right, as it stands, somewhere able to join Muda, Oba comment section, who say, and tamping the idea about Rikus one, the idea about my boss, the idea about Ubia H and Adrian H. and my means and more all came a mu edaho. She say, yes, you risk possibilities. I was yes, you this war mind as a Ghana for. To not the Tiani said, oh, can be saying, no, one machi, and I say, Cassa, and nipper war from Benya understanding now. We na question another money equity you. Munyabotre. Whereas we na question another money equity. It was so man about for mentina de be an ema omedi eye nkofo na omadwunima emre adwuni di agro. You won't so be the demonstration. Ubi answer ne say me ba se me ba besa. Ubi answer ne say me te say omo che aduana mbeji bi. Ma matwi na anya mo a. Entina ma Captain Smart de bia okasa nkofo nya ne ntem because all the twi ni wurem. It be say na education anu wodin no. Ye san ba be kan chire mo na akwese so for preach ni san so be chire ma chire nkofo. Mo matwi ni nya mo. Na a form of one idea no. Yes, and I been a rich contumely say na chema can we cool, Miss Mass Enfem, me cannot catch enfem. Nadia befem. Yamu chino, casano, and your more now so mission alibe muda ho correct pa. Now ben a rich visit the chairman. I know bed in Professor Mia can't see you said anado. Our couple of Muya no be abolism no moko. Now what in ye party next time no. Mammy a best what ye in cheap version my. Now you see I'm found 2 cheap platforms so. Ni enu yan mo form sunti. So anya side o munti o. Romo ka koya ni se dem de to sui. Ono na mabonten ene wote se yesi jama. Ene oba so oba be di akiri. So hu no akoboro no because onti de wo kanase. Wo de brofo ana aka. To ati ase beto mo ko no mkodi program na chi na se bibi koto wo mo se ekimu a. Ubuza nse di parent na okoya o de ti answer maami so o tie mi a. O de ti answer nti a alikunti a o de ti sa answer wi. Nipo ko protest the ti answer.
Also protesting. No. You are not protesting.
No.
Who's who protesting you now?
Yeah. Me na me for fan keke.
What they about for fan? Hey.
Me no be na so.
Only be any ham. I'm not going near Breno, Baba, do anything. Now, What ya? Oh yeah, then I think some more protest.
Oh, some minimum of the me from so kind.
And now buy so be do any keke.
Minimum madam phone e ba ku ne ba no any sipen.
But what they are on your bia.
Be mini politics.
And do they over do any
Keke.
na kosa any general.
Oh, you know be any asem me ma.
Any general virgin no e kosa.
Oh, e ko ye.
E
E ko ye.
do any mama right. So
Nti sɛ woamma twi ya mbam ankyerɛ mu ya ɛsi ya ne bɛwa kosi o sɛ ya de wakan de mu da hɔ ya te ase but nkɔfo no mo ɛsɛ ɔmo te ase mu yi no I wish we control na de nsɛ mebre na ɛba nti next time no aya no wagum na ɔmo anya no twi so pa very important.